What happens if you fall into a volcano? Right into the lava pit. Well, let's find out. As always, Tony is ready to risk his life in the name of science. Let's begin. We are near an active volcano. It is about to erupt, so the temperature inside is off the charts. But don't worry, we aren't gonna throw Tony in the volcano. We need him for our future episodes. For now. So, we're gonna make a clone for Tony. But first, some basic theory. There are 3 kinds of lava depending on their chemical composition. They all have different temperatures. The hottest and most common lava is known as basalt lava. It can reach a temperature of up to 1300 degrees Celsius. The coldest lava is known as carbonatite lava, and it only reaches 600 degrees. But what is lava anyway? Turns out, lava is molten rock that comes out from the earth when a volcano erupts. Basically, magma becomes lava when it comes out to the surface. So, we are gonna be jumping into magma. Let's start our experiment. Tony, let's throw your heartless clone inside the volcano. If a real human being falls in the crater of a volcano, they will die even before touching the magma, all because of the volcanic ashes that will fill their lungs, not allowing them to breathe. On top of that, the person won't submerge into the magma like a high diver entering a pool. Instead, they will hit the surface and broke a couple of bones. This is because magma has a high level of density. Don't worry, Tony, we're here to explain everything. The density of a substance is its mass per unit volume. According to physics, if the density of an object is less than the density of a liquid, then the object will always remain on the surface of the liquid. That's why people don't sink in the water and icebergs don't fall to the bottom of the ocean, because they are less dense. And magma is so dense that you could even walk on it. In other words, we were fooled in the end of The Lord of the Rings. Either that or Gollum is really dense. But back to the experiment. The temperature is so high that anything that touches the magma catches on fire. So, Tony's clone will burn down in just a couple of minutes, and the same will happen to a real person. So there's that, Tony. Basically, you shouldn't jump inside of a volcano, but you probably already knew that. But now you know the science behind it. Well, folks, today Tony and I are going to tell you about the creepiest experiment of Area 51. More exactly, we're going to tell you the story of a young and beautiful girl who was turned into a creepy monster. So, it's time to learn about Project Abigail. Let's start. Legend has it that the US government wanted to create a superhuman for military purposes. A scientist named Albert Wester set out to accomplish the task. His daughter Abigail offered to be his test subject, as she loved and supported her father very much. The idea was that Abigail would be injected with a substance that would induce a mutation. The plan was to create a superhuman. However, something went wrong. The girl's mental faculties were lost forever. Her lips dried away, exposing her palate, and her teeth turned black and changed shape. Her skin peeled away, exposing her muscles. Her pupils enlarged dramatically, and fear and despair lingered in the monster's eyes. Her beautiful hair fell out, and there was no trace of anything human left. Despite the horrifying results, Albert decided to proceed with the experiment. He believed that Abigail could return to her original self at the end of the experiment. The creature reached a height of 2.5 meters, and it consumed significantly more food than the average person. Albert visited his little girl, or rather what was left of her. He tried to talk to her, but all he could hear instead of words was an animal growl. Her conscience was lost forever. The exceptionally beautiful girl had turned into a monster with animal traits. In the end, the scientist could not stand what he had done to his own daughter and committed suicide. Upon learning of the incident, the US government decided to curtail the program and stop funding. The military decided to leave the monster to starve to death in its room. But one day, the creature escaped. It broke through the iron door of its room, killed 2 guards, and left Area 51. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Friends, if you have just lost your faith in humanity after this story, we want to reassure you. This whole story is complete rubbish and completely made up. This story was first shared in 2018 on a YouTube channel dedicated to creepypastas, which are fictional stories intended to scare the reader. At the time, Area 51 raid was about to happen and everyone was talking about the place. That's why this creepy story quickly went viral around the world. The girl in the photo, who was claimed to be Abigail, was identified. It turned out to be American model and actress Sunny Harnett. She died in 1987 in a fire. Now for the creature that was passed off as the mutated Abigail. Its author's name is Dan Peacock. He's an illustrator who posts his fictional drawings on ArtStation. Here's that image, by the way. Do you get the irony? The guy added the monster for fun to get a spectacular picture, and some YouTube channel made up a whole story about it. If you still believe in this scary story, here are some inconsistencies to consider. First of all, this story has several versions, which contradict each other. Some sources say that the experiment took place in 1943 during World War II, while others argue that the event took place in the 60s. The endings varied too. Some versions say that after Abigail's project was shut down, no one ever saw the monster or its creator. Maybe Abigail is still locked up in her room behind the iron door of Area 51. Some say she escaped the day after her father's suicide, and some say only some time later when she was already forgotten by everyone. By the way, the people who share different versions of the story still can't agree on the scientist's death either. Some argue that the project was terminated after the US government received the news of the scientist's suicide, while others say that the government got tired of funding the pointless project, and only after that Albert Wester committed suicide. Beyond that, there are enough details in this story to indicate that this is a fake that was made up for fun, hype, and popularity. Don't believe everything you read online. Today, Tony and I are going to tell you about the most sophisticated torture methods ever used, and we are going to see if they work on Tony, our favorite guinea pig. Mwahahaha! Let's begin with a torture that was invented back in ancient China. It involves the use of salt. The prisoner would be fed with oversalted food, while not being allowed to drink fresh water. This would disturb the fluid balance of the body, increasing the level of sodium in the blood and causing heavy dehydration. The tortured person would feel very bad and won't be able to move even a finger. This also causes constipation, lethargy, hallucinations, and soon after, the person will enter a coma and will die. But this only happens after many weeks of agony. By the way, you could do the opposite and use water to torture someone. In Europe, between the 15th and the 18th century, the following method was very popular among torturers. The victim would be tied to a chair with their head up. Then, with the help of a funnel, the prisoner would be given water, lots of water. Apart from feeling like you're choking and the pain from a swelling stomach, the effects from the torture would last pretty long. All the cells on your body would swell from the excess of water, causing nausea, vomiting, and convulsions. And soon after, you will die from a cerebral edema along with respiratory failure. And last but not least, let's use what silence and darkness can do to people. This kind of torture was used in ancient Rome. Back then, there were special chambers for prisoners, whose crimes weren't bad enough to have them killed, but who still deserved something more than physical punishment. The prisoners were put in a sealed dark chamber with a good ventilation system. The food would be given to the prisoners from a dark room above, so not even a tiny ray of light would get to them. The guards would be very quiet and won't talk with the prisoner. After some months, the chamber was opened and a toothless and often blind crazy person would go out. The thing is that the lack of sunlight would cause a deficiency of vitamin D. The prisoner would suffer from scurvy, a disease that affects the connective tissue of the body, makes your teeth fall out, cause rash, and terrible pain in the joints. In the end, darkness, silence, and constant pain make the prisoner go crazy and lose any grip of reality. Whoa, Tony, did you have a nightmare? You thought someone was torturing you? Don't worry, Tony, we would never do that. Go back to sleep, poor thing. So, Tony, what are you doing? Wow, Tony, this is a thermonuclear warhead W-88 with a power of 475 kilotons. Where did you get it? Well, it doesn't matter. Now we have a wonderful topic for today's video. Let's find out how a nuclear explosion will affect Tony. Uh-oh, be careful, it could explode. Okay, now slowly put the warhead on the ground and move away. Tony, you probably know that a nuclear explosion emits a huge stream of neutrons, known as gamma radiation. This kind of radiation has unique penetrating abilities. And if there isn't a bunker or a huge lead box with thick walls around, then you better be a couple of kilometers away. Although, the explosion will generate a shock wave, which will destroy everything within a radius of 3 kilometers. And within a radius of 4 kilometers, all the buildings will be totally destroyed. And survival is possible only at a distance of at least 5 kilometers. But that's not all. A nuclear explosion generates strong light radiation. At this distance, you will get awful first and second degree burns. So move another couple of kilometers away. Here you will get a smooth and beautiful tan, better than in any tanning bed. Oh yeah, remember you won't be able to make a selfie. The electromagnetic waves will disable all devices at a distance of up to 115 kilometers. And don't relax yet, Tony. Keep in mind that there's gonna be radioactive contamination. If the wind is blowing in your direction, then the radiation can spread as much as 130 kilometers, and radiation sickness will most likely cause baldness and eventually death. So run, Tony, run! Tony and I are gonna visit the center of the Earth and see what's so interesting there. Let's go! So for this adventure, we are gonna need a super duper hyper ultra mega traveling capsule, like this one. Go on, Tony, get inside and let's see what's inside our planet. We are going in. The part of the planet we are on right now is known as the crust. Just so you know, oceanic crust is less thick than continental crust. It can be up to 40 kilometers thick, which is 90 times less than the radius of the Earth. The planet's crust accounts for less than 1% of Earth's mass and around 5% its volume. At the beginning, the temperature is okay, but after the 20-kilometer mark, the temperature rises 3 degrees every 100 meters. Do you feel it, Tony? Well, it's gonna get worse. We've reached the next layer of our planet. It is known as the mantle. It's the biggest part of the Earth. It accounts for 80% of Earth's volume and it's 2,900 kilometers thick. The temperature in the closest point to Earth reaches 2,000 degrees, while the temperature close to the center of the planet is almost 2,500 degrees. By the way, the upper layer of the mantle behaves as a viscous fluid, and the solid layers move in this liquid, causing earthquakes. And finally, we have arrived to the core of the planet. The temperature here ranges from 4,000 to 5,000 degrees Celsius. Not a single thing could survive here. Don't worry, Tony. Fortunately, we live in a fantasy world where everything is possible. Let's get to the core. Oops, it's a dead end. This is the inner core of the planet. It's solid and it's floating in the liquid outer core. This movement creates a magnetic field around the planet, which in turn protects all living creatures in our planet from harmful cosmic rays. That's all, Tony. It's time to go back. Yeah! Hurrah! Yay! It's time for another experiment with Super Tony. Today, we are gonna learn to do something really cool, something everyone should know how to do. We are gonna learn how to catch a dragon. Let's go! So, we are not gonna talk today about the most common way to catch a dragon, which is gathering a raid with a perfect number of tanks, damage dealers, and healers. Everyone knows how to do that, and it's too easy for us. We want to try something different. So, to begin with, let's try the method seen in the game Skyrim. In this case, we are gonna need an empty castle, some giant feathers, and a bait. Who could be our bait today? Who indeed? Tony, of course. So, first we have to lure the dragon to the balcony of the castle, like this. Now call it inside. Then we wait, and we throw the feathers at it. We did it! We caught a real dragon just like in Dragon's Reach from Skyrim. Another unusual way to catch a dragon can be seen in the movie Reign of Fire. Tony, get in the helicopter and let's go. Oh, I almost forgot. For this operation, we are gonna need 3 men. Great, we are ready to hunt. So we need to fly high in the sky, so high that no dragon can reach us. Now we need to find a dragon and fly above it. Tony number 1, jump. You should fly in front of the dragon so it'll start chasing you. Tony number 2 and 3, it's time to go. Your mission is to throw a net over the dragon in the right moment. It's looking good, friends. Now we shoot the nets, open our parachutes, and land. Good job, everyone. We caught a real dragon. So, which is another way to hurt a dragon? Oh, I know. People say that words hurt more than swords. Show us, Tony. Oh, no. You don't have to be so rude, Tony. Where did you learn that? What did this poor dragon do wrong? You should be ashamed of yourself, Tony. No one should hurt the feelings of a poor animal. So go and say I'm sorry to this cute little dragon, and then we're gonna clean your mouth with soap. So friends, while our brave dragon catcher is trying to calm his victim, tell us in the comments if you know any other ways of catching a fire-breathing dragon. The best idea will be featured in our next episode. So give us a like and subscribe to our channel. See you in a new episode of Super Tony. Bye-bye.